CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And we're back here in Pittsburgh. Home field advantage? Well, not this weekend. The visitors have been 3 for 3 on the weekend so far with Philadelphia's win over the Giants today. But what about the field conditions here, Phil?
A lot of talk about this field here in Pittsburgh. San Diego Chargers, very worried about it. Jim, it's in as good a shape as I've ever seen it, even in September.
And this really reminds you in some ways, as you see the weather here, wind chill at 18 with flurries, very much like what we had here in November with conditions.
Actually, I think it's better weather today than it was 8 weeks ago.
Now the Steelers won the toss and they elected to kick it away. So Reed puts the foot to it. It's down to the 7. Here is Sproles. His first touch of many expected today, and he is swamped by Timmons at the 25. Out comes Phillip Rivers. He did not have a good day here in November. His worst game statistically of the season, but 3 years as a starter and 3 AFC West Division titles engineered by Rivers. On that line, Chris Dielman, who came into the league as a defensive lineman, undrafted. Marty Schottenheimer moved him to offense. He makes the Pro Bowl for the second time at guard. And here is Sproles, his first career NFL start. Coming off back-to-back 100-yard performances. Again, Tomlinson inactive for the day. They fake to Sproles, who carries out the fake, and the pass to Gates with open room, and finally Polamalu comes over to chop him out of bounds, but a big 21 yards for the Chargers on the first snap. Going against a defense with that man so often leading the way, Troy Polamalu. This is the #1 ranked defense in the league. Underrated Aaron Smith on that defensive front. Most of the sacks, Smith leads them on the down lineman in the sack category, but most come from the linebacking core, and specifically James Harrison. And there's Polamalu, one of the best players at any position in the National Football League. So Gates, who did not come out for warm-ups, catches one for 21 on first down, and there's Sproles. It's Harrison, and you saw Polamalu come flying through the area also. No gain. Phil, let's get a little philosophy here for the Chargers.
All right, just for San Diego, their defense today overall, they want to know if the Steelers are going to run it. That's all they've heard all week. And if they're going to do that, then they're going to cheat up there and get a lot of people near the line of scrimmage. And for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, we saw at the opening play of the game, be aware on first down. That's when the Chargers try to fool you and go for the big throws down the field.
Hester wide to the right now, shifting to the backfield. On 2nd and 10, screen pass Sproles. Smith coming after him. He gets away from him. And able to bounce it away for a first down. Darren Sproles, that quickness evident right there.
That's the difference in this game right now, Jim. Already you can see it. Just watch. The Steelers are there. Aaron Smith can't get there. Defensive lineman, so quick, so fast. And when he makes a decision, we saw it last week against the Indianapolis Colts, against the Denver Broncos 2 weeks ago. When he makes a decision, when he makes that cut, it is full steam ahead.
He is a terror on those screens, as the Colts learned last week, especially in the overtime. A gain of 12, and on first down, another play action, and Rivers going for the deep ball for Vincent Jackson, and Jackson makes the catch. Touchdown, San Diego, 2 minutes into the game. Right over Ike Taylor, 41 yards.
Does he make the catch? He's got it, both arms around it, goes to the ground. And does he hold on all the way through the process? The answer is yes.
Boy, that was tough. Taylor, there was contact there and no flag. And Jackson, with his arms a little bit handcuffed, able to make the grab.
I'm not sure the contact wasn't from Vincent Jackson. When I watched it live, Jim, the first time, it looked like he put his arm out there just to give himself a little leverage to get a chance to make the
touchdown. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 83 of the offense. Penalty will be enforced on the kickoff, 15-yard. Unnecessary demonstration.
Just going back to that touchdown, the very first play of the game, he was open going down the middle, and Phillip Rivers, under a little pressure, threw it short to the tight end, but that's probably why they came right back to it.
Vincent Jackson, who did not have a catch last week and then ran into some problems this week, pulled over for a DUI, and the league's going to handle that. So he is able to go and actively let the legal process take its course. What a throw by Rivers. A great catch by Jackson, and the Chargers make an early statement here. And LaDainian looking on as his team. You see, it's been a long time since he had to sit out a game. But that was an opening drive touchdown for the Chargers. First time in 21 game span, regular season and postseason. They got Mike Cyphers kicking off. And again, it's all the way back to the 15 because of the celebration penalty against Jackson after the touchdown. Football travels only to the 30, and that's Kerry Davis. So Jackson cost him some field position here. 42-yard start line for the Steelers.
Let's go, Jim. Here we got Darren Sproles on the fake. We have Gates against Polamalu one-on-one. That creates a big opening down the field because of Antonio Gates. And Darren Sproles in the backfield, that might give him some chances deep down the field. Watch Troy Polamalu. Instead of helping down on the wide receiver, which they do a lot of here in Pittsburgh, he covers the tight end. Philip Rivers sees it, makes a terrific throw.
So here come the Steelers on offense for the first time. Roethlisberger with a run play. Willie Parker gets past the line and gets shoved down by Quentin Jammer. He ran behind Heath Miller. Roethlisberger again, the big question, how will he respond after that concussion suffered against Cleveland 2 weeks back? Would have been iffy if he had to play last week if they didn't have the bye. Max Starks, he's become now a fixture at left tackle with Marvell Smith's injury now IR'd. And Hines Ward, another big season for the 11th year man out of Georgia. Three-receiver set here for Pittsburgh with Nate Washington coming in. So Parker running hard with that first carry. He had a 100-yard game in that season finale against Cleveland. And that's good for another 3. Ron Rivera, what a difference he's made coming over at mid-season from the linebacker coach position to coordinator. They've got Jamal Williams up front, the captain of the ship, as his teammate Stephen Cooper told us last night. And Phillips is their top sack man, 7.5 on the season. Eric Weddle, the second-year man from Utah, twice his conference player of the year out there and the signal caller of that secondary. 3 tight ends in for Pittsburgh. We call it a 2nd and 8. And it's Parker again looking good and finding a small seam, making the most of it. Running into the secondary, into the arms of Clinton Hart, but another first down.
I guess the question, Jim, we talked about philosophies. Are the Steelers really going to run it? And the answer so far is yes. All week long, the San Diego Chargers were reading in the paper. All the Steeler players were saying, we got to run it, we're going to run it. And so they said, well, okay, if you're going to do that, we're believing you. We're going to try to crowd the line of scrimmage. But not very successful stopping that run 2 of these first 3 times.
Parker sent out wide to the left now. They've opened with 3 rush plays. This time they empty it on first down. In the hands of Ward. And Weddle bumps him out by the flag. Bill Levy, the referee.
Holding. Number 10 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Santonio Holmes is going to be flagged for this one.
Quick screen outside. And I'll tell you what happened. Santonio Holmes expected Hines Ward to go inside. That's the way the play was designed. So when he took it out, which I don't think he had to, when he broke outside, he goes, what's going on? And that makes you grab a jersey.
No doubt about that call. Pittsburgh was flagged so often in that first matchup against San Diego, including 2 holding calls against Hines Ward. He had 4 on the season, did Hines. 2 in that game against the Chargers. Now his fellow receiver gets called for that one.
Jim, they're going to get holding calls from the wide receiver position because they're aggressive and they block in the running game.
1st and 19. Back to Ward. Good stick, ball out. And they call it incomplete. So Quentin Jammer jars it out. It'll be 2nd and 19. Ward did not hold on.
Quentin Jammer really had a pretty solid year, and one of the keys for their defensive backs, especially Quentin Jammer and Antonio Cromartie, read Ben Roethlisberger when he takes a short drop, attack the line of scrimmage, and when he drops deeper, stay back, make sure you don't give up the big play.
Supervision. The Great look at that one. 2nd down 19 from the 45. Good protection for Ben. He swings it over to Heath Miller. Cromartie locking down that side, but Miller able to scoot ahead back to about the 35. We'll give him 11. Miller did not play in that first matchup. He was injured in November, and his replacement that day, Matt Spaeth, had a big game.
Yeah, he did. And why the San Diego Chargers were worried about this field, it's not about their wide receivers or Darren Sproles. It's about their pass rushers. Can they get traction to get close to Ben Roethlisberger? That's what they're worried about.
So they'll go shotgun, 3rd and 8. Have to get to about the 25. It'll be a long-range field goal, asking a lot in this open end of the field for Reed if it's incomplete, which it is. And they were going to Holmes, and that was Cromartie, who was right there with him. Even a little hit to boot.
Right here, tough decision. Mike Tomlin deciding to go for it on 4th down because they're in between. It looks like they're going to go for it, where you try a very long field goal, tough on this grass field this time of year, or you punt it. This early in the game, I think I would have punted it.
You don't even consider 52, 53 yards from this end of the field, do you?
Not on this field.
You know the history going this way. There's not been anything from 50 yards ever at Heinz Field. Pittsburgh, the punter, was out for just a moment, and he was summoned back to the sideline. They're going for it. 4th and 8. A failure here, and San Diego will be set up in good position.
He's got a quick kick.
Oh, yeah, quick kick with the left foot. Roethlisberger gets the job done. Big Ben, he stepped back an extra couple of yards.
Lefty.
Yeah, knocks it 25 yards it traveled. Jim Nantz with Phil Simms, and San Diego up a quick 7 with its 2nd series now beginning at the 9. Delay give Sproles. Able to weave past Harrison and collect 3. Phillip Rivers had a nice little start to this game.
Yeah, he did. What a terrific first call. Then Darren Sproles with the speed. And Vincent Jackson just outruns the football. Didn't think he was going to get there when Phillip Rivers let it go, but he kept his arms in motion, waited to the last second to reach out and make the catch.
Rivers had 2 completions over 20 yards on that first drive, including the perfect strike to Jackson. Sproles, and they jam him for only about 2. Larry Foote on the tackle.
Well, this Charger team, just talking to him last night, what did Phillip Rivers say? We were 4 and 8, and we go, well, it's probably over. Well, we're still in the NFL. Let's go out and practice and have some fun. And when you know it, every week goes by, they were still alive.
All but over, but he approached it, telling his teammates, no one's going to feel sorry for you, let's just go play. And a week-by-week survival test with considerable help coming out of the Mile High City. And here they are, trying to get to the AFC title game. 3rd down, Rivers over the head of Sproles. That was Woodley running right with him.
Yeah, it was that. It was pressure on the quarterback. You know you're backed up, you know the score, so you're very careful with the throw, and the coverage was excellent.
One of the real stars last week for the Chargers, this man, Mike Cyphers. Big story on him in a national paper this week. His mother works in television down in Louisiana, and she later got called by a reporter to clarify that actually all these years, everyone's pronounced his last name incorrectly. It's Cyphers. So beware, we're going with that the rest of the day as Holmes takes off. Holmes inside the 50, gets past Cyphers. Nene has the angle. He gets past him, hurdling, and takes it in for the touchdown. Santonio Holmes breaks it 68 yards. 54. The return was 68.
Yeah, it was a good job. He broke that first tackle, Jim, and once he broke it, he made good decisions, saw the whole field, made the right cut, and then outran everybody to the end zone.
Jeff Reed ties it at 7. Mid-first. We have had some big highlights already. The run back ties it here in the Steel City. First kick or punt return by a Steeler all year for a touchdown. In fact, punt return average as a team, they were next to last in the league. But they break the big one here to tie it. Sproles, the return man, has a 103-yard kick return for a score at Denver, week 2 of the season. We know what he can do. Trying to answer back. Collision with Tyrone Carter. What happened here?
Well, Jim, let's look at it as Santonio Holmes catches the football, and as he goes, if you stop right here, look, you got a line of defenders here, and look up top, all the guys that are just, the spacing is terrible. He cuts it right up inside of them. When you're covering kicks in the NFL special teams, you want to spread the field, evenly space it, so you're able to react and make those tackles and not give up big plays.
Ominous sign for the Chargers after they dominated last week with their punt coverage team. Thanks to Cypress's play, spectacular. It's time they give up the touchdown. And this is a run by Michael Bennett, and a flag comes in after no gain. Boy, Michael Bennett made a couple of plays last week, a surprise.
Personal foul, face mask, number 22 of the offense.
Called against Jacob Hester of the Chargers, the face mask.
We expect to see Jacob Hester in number 22. There it is. That's pretty evident. Tries to get off. He knows it.
CBSSports.com has complete coverage of the NFL playoffs, as wild as they are. Find all the latest news, analysis of each matchup, video previews, live scoring, game centers, all online, CBSSports.com. So far in the playoffs, how about this? No home team has won this weekend. There's Mike Tomlin trying to get his first postseason victory. They lost last year to Jacksonville here at home in the wild card round. So far overall, factoring in the wild card weekend this year, the road teams are 5-2. San Diego could make it a perfect sweep for the weekend. Rivers. And a sliding catch made by Chris Chambers.
Speed and distance of Santonio Holmes. Look at the route he took. Look how fast he's running sometimes. Over 20 miles an hour.
I don't know why Nene right there just didn't put his hands on him and shove him out of bounds. He went low for the chop tackle, and it was an easy play just to bump him out at about the 8 or 10.
Yeah, it looked like that. Nene is actually one of their better special teams players, along with Osgood. So had a chance to knock him out of bounds, missed it.
2nd and 13. We got about halfway there on the pass play to Chambers. Rivers goes underneath. And that's back to Michael Bennett with Ferrier bringing him down. Now, Bennett began the year with Tampa Bay, had spot duty, had 7 carries as a buck through the first half of the season. Then they waived him. San Diego signed him. He was inactive through the whole rest of the regular season and got his first carries as a Charger come playoff time.
How about that? And he did a good job last week, 24 yards rushing, and he'll get spot duty today because you just can't give it to Darren Sproles in the pass and run game and special teams all day long.
3rd down 7. Legadou Nene has come in as an extra receiver. Sproles is in there as the running back, protecting the quarterback, and the first down is picked up by Gates. Antonio Gates for 9.
Phillip Rivers having no trouble with the cold weather, the little snow in the air, and one of the things that Norv Turner says he loves about him, he's a good screen thrower, but he can drop down and throw football, sidearm, overhand, whatever he needs. And Antonio Gates did not even come out in the field today to warm up before the game. He just waited to game time and looks pretty good. Doesn't look like any ill effects. not being 100%.
San Diego doing a good job coming back from 1st and 25 to pick up the first down. Now they'll also have to go probably 1st and 15 here. Looked like McNeil on the left side moved.
Full start. Number 73 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You know, Phil, in that first game, the Steelers out-yardaged the Chargers almost 2-1. It was like 410 to 213. And Phillip Rivers, though, last night when we met with Phillip, said he really felt like they got to know them pretty good as a defense. He took a lot out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you do, they learn how to block the defensive fronts, how to handle the linebackers to get extra receivers, the running backs and tight ends out in the passing game. And the opportunities were there in that first game, Tim, for Phillip Rivers. And he admitted, man, he just made some throws and just can't believe it was so bad.
Triple tight end set. He's going to go to Sproles. Short side of the field. Gets away for 2. The third one brings him down. That's Larry Foote. Gain of 3.
That was one of those, let's run everybody to the right side and try to throw it across the field to the tight end again to the left. The Steelers defense more disciplined, settled down now, but then finds the outlet. Darren Sproles. Really good job by Rivers and Darren Sproles.
Well, you see LaDainian on the sideline, and you wonder if the Chargers are able to pull off this win today. Would he be back in time for the Ravens next week? Or would perhaps they have to win that one and wait a couple of weeks to get him back for the Super Bowl? All things that we talked about last night with Norv Turner, no one really knows.
Pretty emotional for Norv Turner not to have him out there.
2nd down and 12. Pressure, and they get him. Woodley on the sack. He got away from Brandon Manu-Maluna, who was trying to protect the quarterback, but Woodley sacks him for an 8-yard loss.
Well, the San Diego Chargers, first and foremost, they want to make sure they block James Harrison, number 92. He dropped off in pass coverage, and look at the top of your screen. It's the coverage down the field that gives Woodley the extra time to get there. Wow, what a kick. Went over his head. But you just can't always worry about protection if you're San Diego. If you do that, you won't get anybody open down the field.
Well, they got to get all the way to the Pittsburgh 43 for a first. Didn't beat the play clock.
Game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
What do you think? Will that be called a little tighter today? Play clock?
After what happened yesterday in that Tennessee-Baltimore game?
But you listen, I'm going to just make a quick comment. You know, you have to see the football or look at the clock, see 0, look down at the football, and if it's not snapped, then you throw the flag. So there is a little delay, about a second to a second and a half, sometimes.
3rd and 25. They run it with Sproles. They almost decked him for a loss, and he just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Ferrier and Timmons get to him quickly. They were expecting run.
Now the crowd's into it. This defense very disciplined in what they do. Look at them on the field. And then even when you get out of trouble against them, they're so fast. Linebackers, remember they play a 3-4. That's going to make them faster than most defenses.
So Cypress, first time he ever punts with that pronunciation, is returned for a touchdown. Another one with big hang time. Noel Moore watches it go out of bounds, and they'll spot it at about the 26. We already have more touchdowns in this one than we did in the first encounter 8 weeks ago. 7-7 first quarter. Brilliant round it's been on divisional weekend, with all the road teams winning so far. He's never had all 4, but you look at those that have advanced, Phil. We got Arizona as a 4 and a pair of 6s. Baltimore and Philadelphia making it to the championship round. Of course, the Steelers, when they won the title 3 years back, they won it as a 6, the last team in as an AFC side champion. It's Willie Parker getting stopped quickly by Tim Dobbins. And tomorrow, 2.5 men, Charlie Sheen and John Cryer, are back with the first new episode of 2009. You don't want to miss the People's Choice Award winner for favorite TV comedy tomorrow on CBS, America's most watched network. Second and 9 with Parker showing some good burst on that first drive of the game. who carries 23 yards. And a long ball for Nate Washington, and no flag. Quentin Jammer. Now, feet got a little tangled, perhaps. Washington fell. Incidental contact, they say.
It's good blocking by the Steelers. It's a blitz by San Diego. What a throw by Ben Roethlisberger, and it is, Jim. The feet got tangled up. Watch the last second. Like you couldn't even tell if they hit. But it was a very good throw by Ben Roethlisberger.
Might have been some good acting there by Nate Washington, but not good enough for the officials. Tomlin was barking on the sideline looking for the call, but that's a no-go. 3rd and 9. Blitz. Roethlisberger, boy, he was looking for options to get rid of that football. That was Eric Weddle who came up along with Kaysen, and they forced the Steelers to punt.
Really good look, top of your screen. Everybody drops out, and then you get Weddle on the blitz. The Steelers don't react to it. Something we've talked about and we'll see today. San Diego mixes it up much better on defense now, and especially when it comes to trying to put pressure on the quarterback in obvious passing situations.
Mitch Berger, he wasn't even the punter for the Steelers in that first matchup. It was Paul Ernster on a two-hopper. It's Sproles. There is a flag, and he stepped out. That was a 49-yard boot by Berger.
I'm glad he didn't change his name today.
During the kick, illegal block in the back. Number 24 receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
Well, that takes away some good field position for San Diego.
More people watch the NFL on CBS than any other network. Touchdown! The NFL and CBS Sports. The tradition continues.
To go, first quarter, 7-7. And San Diego, and its offense out for the 3rd time. Took only 2 minutes and 1 second to score at the beginning of this game. Here's Sproles getting a running start. He squeezes through there for about 8.
Well, Jim, the linebackers here in Pittsburgh, it's quite a history. James Harrison today, how's that for a takedown? Then Woodley gets a sack. And they got such speed. James Ferrier, Foot, all of them can make plays. And there was a nice story on linebackers here in Pittsburgh on TV this morning. 33 out of the last 36 years, I think that number is right, they have sent a linebacker to the Pro Bowl.
And this year they have the defender of the year in James Harrison. Boy, they're in quickly, but Sproles is able to sidestep a couple of hits, pick up the first.
You see Darren Sproles, you said it, Jim, 5'6", 185 pounds, and he is so quick. Foot can't make the tackle. He breaks arm tackles, and we just kind of talked to him last night about his strength, and he threw some numbers out there. When you're this fast as he is, you're going to be strong. That's one of the reasons why he can break those tackles.
And that's going to be the last play of the opening quarter, with the score 7-7 after 1. We'll return to Pittsburgh after these messages, and you're watching the NFL on CBS. Tomorrow, CSI Miami, a man found wandering the streets. Is he a victim or a killer? All new CSI Miami tomorrow on America's #1 network, CBS. We start the second quarter in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. Jim Nantz sitting alongside Phil Simms. Exciting first quarter at 7-7. First play of the second, it's Sproles on first down for only a yard. James Ferrier on the hit. Now, during the quarter change, we're making sure that every 5 yards, a little more definition is added to the field here. And the field conditions are excellent. We've seen them much worse here. As good as we've ever seen late in the season.
Players are not slipping. Looks like they're getting good traction. The game looks fast watching it here in person.
2nd and 9. Gates, and he's about a yard away. He made a move like that last week, carrying one Colt with him to pick up a crucial first down late in that game. And again, is not 100%. He's jawing here with a fellow Kent State man, James Harrison. How about Kent State delivering these two? Gates, arguably the best at his position in the league, and Harrison, the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year. And by the way, Jack Lambert, the legend of the old Steel Curtain, also attended Kent State. 3rd and 2. Sproles, a little guy trying to pick up the first down, but Ferrier may have stopped him about a half-yard shy.
Cross the line. Tough to run inside against this Pittsburgh defense. Casey Hampton, Aaron Smith.
Bill Levy says it's 4th down. He doesn't even call for the measurement.
No, it looks like he's short. Just to watch how quick Darren Sproles goes down.
4th and 1.
Well, he has to. He sees 3 Pittsburgh defenders all over him. You've got to punt the football.
They're bringing out the punting unit.
It's just hard to take chances, especially early in the game. Anything like this to give the other team.
It's interesting, Phil, that Weldy Moore is the returner as he was on the last punt. And have a delay of game call here against San Diego instead of Santonio Holmes, who has already run one back.
Well, Jim, they do both. When Santonio Holmes is up, when he gets up, Norv Turner could be challenging this spot.
San Diego's challenge, the ruling on the field of the forward progress. We'll review the play.
Well, that's a tough one because I don't think it's a winnable position. Even if they move it a few inches, I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to a first. The challenge underway. We're coming out of a challenge here. San Diego challenging the spot on 3rd and 2. Did Darren Sproles pick up enough for the first? Norv Turner threw out the red flag, and I think they will move the football, but maybe against the Chargers. Look, here's where you got to spot the ball.
After reviewing the play,
half a yard short of that.
The runner
40.
was short of the first down marker. It is 4th down.
I think they gave him a good spot, as it turns out.
Their first time out.
They got the nose of the football right up against the 40, and it looked like, from what we saw, it should have been at about the 39.5. I think Turner saw a little sleight of hand by his man Sproles.
Yes, he moved it.
On the ground, he moved it up.
On the ground, and I'll tell you what, good challenge by Norv Turner. Big moment, get the first down, you're at the 40. You can really take some shots and do what you need on the offensive side.
So again, we made the Cypress point earlier, new name and all, and it's going to be Weldy Moore back on the return.
He's more of the returner who fair catches it and is careful with the football. Santonio Holmes, they send him back and they want a big play.
Fair catch. Secured at the 17. Look at Osgood. And his agility. He's a great special teamser. And here we go with Showtime inside the NFL with JB, Chris, Warren, my friend Phil Simms. I saw you there this week. It's a great show, folks. Showtime inside the NFL. Wednesdays at 9 to show the pros watch.
Yeah, you know, and I have to admit, you got some talent. Not only did you make Chris Collinsworth be quiet, you made him disappear. So he walked right off the set.
We had some fun. All in good fun debating the overtime rule in the NFL. We are on opposite sides of that and have been for years. Some San Diego folks thought, hey, wait a minute, what would you have said if the Chargers would have lost that game? It had nothing to do with the outcome of that game. Just had a good, fun debate there. We'll see you Showtime on Wednesday, Phil. Here comes Willie Parker out to about the 25. He's looking good here from what we've seen so far. Had a 100-yard game against him first time out, too.
You know, Jim, and you can just tell. Running backs, wow, it's such a violent position. You get hit so much and so hard, and you got to cut. And Willie Parker, you can tell he's healthy, quick, decisive, and powerful up in there when he's running. And even when we watch him practice, you know, given the opportunity, he's going to make the plays.
Puts him in the kind of situation you wish for, second and short. And Parker is going to have the first down and a bonus yard. Rushing this season, Parker has been hampered by injury. They had 16 rushing touchdowns, 11 of them at home. With Parker, a spotty season, mainly because, again, injured in the middle part of the year. Moore gave them a good boost. He came over free agent by way of Minnesota, where Tomlin was familiar with him from his days there as a defensive coordinator.
I think Mike Tomlin has really straightened out his running back situation. He's got a good rotation. You know, he's giving Gary Russell all the short yardage carries, and everybody knows the role. That's always important.
New set of downs for Pittsburgh. And that's Parker. Another good first down carry for 6. You know, interestingly, in his postseason career, Parker now has carried the ball, as you see him here, 65 times, Phil, and he has only one rush in the postseason of his career that went for 15 yards or more. That happened to be that 75-yard touchdown run, the longest rush in Super Bowl history.
Yes.
But he's never had another 15-yarder in his entire postseason career, but threatening the way he's running right now to have one today.
They keep blocking up front like this. He is going to get a long run today. Get to the second level.
They want on the ground. They stay with him. And look at him fight for that first down and get it at the 40. The crowd applauding. He's encouraging more, and that was this longest rush against Seattle up in Detroit in the Super Bowl. Hines Ward was the game's MVP. Willie Parker gave his Super Bowl ring to his father, Willie Sr. He had his brother and sister-in-law come up to his house, gave him a new Cadillac to drive back home to give to Dad. He called his dad and said, by the way, Dad, I left something in the trunk. His dad went in the trunk of that new car and saw a box. He said, open it up. And it was the Super Bowl ring. What a way to package a gift for Dad. Here they run it with Moore coming in to give a breather to Parker, and that's another good rush, too, for the Steelers. 4 gained on that one.
Well, I think we go back to the beginning again. Are they really going to run it? Yes, they are. I'm convinced. Good job of getting out. Keomatu gets outside. Keomatu, good block by him. And the running back's not making many moves. Very direct, going straight into the line of scrimmage and getting an extra tough yard or 2 at the end of each run.
What's Ron Rivera thinking right now with the way they're running the football on his team?
Well, what you do, like every defense, you got to start putting extra guys up there, then look out.
2nd and 6, Parker back in. And that's a 6th straight rush call. And good for 3. It'll be 3rd and about 2. Parker about halfway home to 100.
Boy, did you see when he went through that first hole? Look how low he's getting. Shoulders are down, pads are down, tough. Not giving the defense a whole lot of area to hit.
So the running game working effectively enough that staying away from the pass and just grinding it out with success. I'm going to call this 3rd and 3. Weddle may have been across too fast. But a procedure penalty instead against the Steelers, I think.
Ball start. Number 72 offense. 5-yard penalty.
Well, when you're going to run the football like the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to do, you're going to get a lot of 3rd and 5s and 4s and 3s. And the Chargers coming on the blitz, and that's what makes Weddle good timing. That's what you do. Oh, it's going to be a running play against the blitz. But you got to be very good at picking up 3rd and 5 and 4 and 3-yarders when you're going to run it, because you're going to see a lot of those situations puts pressure on the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, to make those throws and decisions.
So the 3rd and 8. Complete to Davis, but short of the first. Eric Weddle with the tackle. He did a good job of wrapping up the fullback.
Down by Weddle.
What protection Ben Roethlisberger had at the last second. He finds Davis going across the field.
Hey, they're back to the line quickly here, trying to catch them in a defensive substitution.
Can't do it. They have to give the defense time to align because of the substitution.
Chargers call a timeout. Timeout, San Diego. Will Pittsburgh still go for it out of the break? Pittsburgh is in punt formation. 4th and a long yard. Snap it to Berger. And Sproles watching it sail down to the 2, and it inches its way in for a touchback. 51 yards, but only a net of 31. Out to the 20 for the Chargers. Game tied. Star TV's #1 news show. It's Tuesdays on CBS, America's most watched network. Chargers at the 20, mid-second. 7-7. We had 2 touchdowns in the first half quarter. No points since. Harrison was coming in on Rivers, and a pass was dangerously close to being picked by Ike Taylor, intended for Chris Chambers.
You know, Jim, go back to that 4th and 1 the Steelers had where San Diego called a timeout. I thought they would be given their timeout back because the Steelers did run about 6 defenders, their punt unit, onto the field.
Here you see them at the bottom.
Yes, here they all come on. They all ran out there even more. So San Diego expects to punt. They have to get reasonable time to get their substitutions in there. They didn't. That's why they called the timeout.
And the timeout call stood and just thrown away. Rivers saw there was nothing unfolding. Hester was over on the left side, but Harrison was wreaking havoc on that play again.
Well, they talked about it all week. And then Mike Tomlin said it. Wow, can these guys throw screens? They do it to everybody. 2 tight ends to all 3 running backs. Phillip Rivers has done a tremendous job during the year recognizing when it's there, when it's not. Doesn't try to make a play, throws the football away immediately.
They've had only 22 total yards since that opening 75-yard touchdown drive. 3rd and 10. Blitz. Rivers. Long. Jackson there. Dives. And this could be one of the great catches you'll see in a long time. They give him the catch on the field. He lays out for it. 43 yards. Let's see if this is something challengeable.
Oh, it was an all-out blitz from the other side. Phillip Rivers hung in there, and it looks like he makes the catch.
I think he did. It was Lynn Swan-esque. Oh, no.
Came free.
Yep.
That's going to be close.
Ball even bounced.
You've got to have possession of the football, and it can hit the ground, but it looks like once it hits the ground, he loses possession.
The roar for the red flag.
If he'd have got both hands on it firmly.
Pittsburgh is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass.
And again, that 43-yard play, it was ruled a catch on the field, but will be challenged. Came on 3rd and 10. They'll take a close inspection of this. It'll either be a punt.
Both hands came off the ball when the receiver hit the ground. It's a complete pass.
Yep.
It'll be 4th and 10 on the 20.
4th and 10 back at the 20. They erase the great effort by Jackson.
Yeah, it was. In the blitz by the Steelers, Jim, they brought a bunch of defenders from Phillip Rivers' left side. He felt it. Here comes the corner. Even Ike Taylor's coming up there. He knows he's in trouble. Look at him drift. And he just always say it. Quarterbacks, you get that rush of adrenaline at that last second. It'll make you overthrow the football when you know pressure is coming.
4th straight punt by San Diego. Now Holmes to return. We only have 1 try in this game. Weldy Moore the other 2. Oh, and Timmons came close. Holmes running that first one back 68 yards for a score. Fair catch. It stepped up at the last minute to secure it near the 40. You know, how about this? This is bizarre. The Chargers have never won here in the regular season. 0-13, but they've not lost in the postseason. 2-0. There's Big Dan Fouts. Back in the '83 season, the wild card game, hitting Kellen Winslow, game-winning score with a minute to go. And then the championship game, Neil O'Donnell and the Steelers, last-ditch effort. This sent San Diego to the Super Bowl, to Super Bowl 29. With their win here, Stan Humphries throwing the winner with 5 minutes to go to Tony Martin. 2 late comeback wins in the postseason here. But again, winless in the regular season, including this year's 11-10 final. They're going reverse. It's Holmes. And locking down that side for the Chargers was Sean Phillips. He was able to fight off the block of Hines Ward and make the play.
Well, you said that right. Sean Phillips is going to get over Hines Ward today. And I wanted to say this, Pittsburgh's offense, they got to look down the field a little bit. You got to at least make them think that you're going to try to look for that big play. So far, they have not done that, except one time.
2nd and 7. I was just thinking Roethlisberger right now has more punt yardage than he has pass yardage in this game. With that one quick kick that traveled about 25 yards. Thrown for 18. But the ground game's been effective. Here he's going to complete a pass. Coming around was Nate Washington trying to elude the defenders. He's a couple yards shy of a first.
I'll tell you what, Gabe, has given this team, the San Diego Chargers, a lot of confidence. They thought they had chances on the offensive side the first time, but the defense, as I talked to Ron Rivera and some of the defensive players, they go, we lined up wrong like 5 times and gave them plays where they got about 50-some yards. We're not going to line up improperly in this game because we know what we're doing. We're a little more schooled in Ron Rivera's defense, and so far it's worked out well.
Right back where they were just a short while ago near midfield, but this time instead of 4th and 2, it's 3rd and 2. Safety foul. It's Davis, and that's twice now he's been stopped about a yard shy of a first off a completion. Quentin Jammer this time chopped him and kept him short of the first.
That's what you do. Quentin Jammer, you got a big running back coming at you. They keep Ben Roethlisberger in the pocket. Just run right through him and low. You see it so often. Good defenses. If you're going to be a really good defense, your corners, safeties, everybody's got to be a good tackler. Jim Jammer did it that time.
And he's done it a couple of times already in this game, has Jammer. Now Berger, fake! And the Chargers read it out. They snap it to the up back, Ryan Clark. And Antoine Applewhite was not fooled.
Here comes the fake. 4th and short. Look at the defense. All the defense is coming on a block. They're trying to confuse the Pittsburgh Steelers punt block protection, and they walk right into the fake. They're coming with pressure. They even had one of the corners who was outside. He was coming on the blitz too.
Boy, what a field position changer that is. They were looking at downing him inside, say, the 20, near the 10, who knows. Instead, San Diego gets it at the Pittsburgh 44. Sproles, Woodley decks him along with Harrison, a loss of a yard.
Well, as Mike Tomlin said, you know, you got to coach the moment in these games. And is it frustration? Do you do it because you've been near midfield and you're not getting those first downs to get a chance to score? Or do you make calls like this because you believe if it doesn't work, our defense can get it done? Well, he believes if it didn't work, his defense can overcome.
Well, they have since that opening drive. They buckled down. That #1 defense in the league. 2nd and 11. Legadou Nane incomplete, and he just kind of tripped on his own. Nane, part of that Boise State program that had that memorable Fiesta Bowl win over Oklahoma a couple of seasons back. Now, Rivers started this game 8 of 9, including the perfect strike to Jackson for the score. He's missed on his last 4 throws. He's going to need one here. 3rd and 11. Gets Gates, first down. Clark brings him down. Clark took the snap, the short snap on the punt, makes the tackle, but a gain of 15.
Tim, let's just watch it. Look at the defense, how deep it is, and then you see Gates. Look at all the area inside that he has to beat Woodley with. And Phillip Rivers, as soon as the football was snapped, goes, oh, I know where I'm going. And Antonio Gates, as big as he is, can come out of a cut, stick his foot in the ground as good as any tight end in the league.
Watch little Sproles here just kind of push aside Timmons, just enough contact so they didn't get a hand on Rivers.
Something they were worried about, him in pass protection.
Gets the handle, does Sproles, and right away he is knocked down. That was Kiesel. Busted across, and Sproles has been rather quiet here in the second quarter.
Well, you'd like to keep the defense honest. And sometimes I know it's got to be hard for somebody calling plays if the running game's not getting any yards. Well, the temptation is, well, let's just throw it all the time.
10 carries, 15 yards. That's all. 2nd and 14. They get him out of the backfield, and he's pancaked by Woodley. Lamar Woodley, who grew up as a kid playing football, always wanted to wear number 36 in honor of his favorite player, Jerome Bettis, who performed the coin toss here today and stirred the crowd when he walked onto the field. That was back in the 6th grade. Look at Sproles, no chance. Interesting area here, Phil, at the 32 again. Field goal so difficult here at Heinz Field. 3rd and 12. Gates. Not enough for the first, but enough to give them a good go at 3. Coming up on the 2-minute warning. We'll be seeing Nate Kading coming out of the break. 7-7. Nate Kading will try a field goal from 42 yards. He missed a 42-yarder here in November, but going the other way. This is always the tougher end, though, for the kickers. History has proven that. The percentage is dramatically lower. 42 yards to the open end. Kading drills it. Good. Beautiful kick.
Kick is good.
All set up by the fake punt that backfired.
Steelers 7.
Well, I think today, Jim, as I watch it and look at the flags in the stadium, there is a little wind behind the Chargers offense. And a lot of it's got to be mental. It just gives you more confidence as a kicker, I would think, when you know you're downwind. LaDainian Tomlinson.
LT loving that. Even North Turner gave Kading a little high five, and it's a 10-7 lead here before the half. And is this playing out kind of the way you thought it would? I mean, here's Pittsburgh, by the way. They're 1 touchdown on a punt return. They did not score a touchdown back in November, so coming up on 6 quarters without the offense scoring against the Chargers defense, a touchdown.
It's amazing how defenses have turned around the NFL. Remember the Colts when they won the Super Bowl, the defense struggled all year long? How about the Arizona Cardinals? Their 2 playoff games, their defense stopping the run. And San Diego, so far, they have been terrific in this game, putting pressure on the offense, stopping the running game when they have to, and can't commend them enough.
Cypress is handling the kickoff chores because Kading, you wouldn't know it with the way he struck that field goal a moment ago, but injured a groin last week. Groin injury, he's not 100%. So I feel like Cypress could give him more off the kicks. This one has got hang time, but it's short. To the 20, that's it. Jerry Russell fielding it. Falls at the 34. We've got the Sprint halftime report on the way with JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cower. First half highlights of our game, plus a recap of the Eagles' win over the Giants. All the latest NFL playoff news and information. They are getting all set back at Studio 43. All coming up on the Sprint halftime report. What a great interview yesterday by James Brown with Hannah Jones, who seemed a little too sure of himself, if you ask me, about being back in the league next year. He might want to just temper that enthusiasm right now. From the 34. Roethlisberger, second option, and Holmes snags it. Tackles at the 50. Tackled by Cooper.
Yeah, but overall, they kept Ben Roethlisberger in the pocket. He did a good job of moving and waiting, and it took a long time for the receiver to get open that time down the field.
Noeldy Moore throwing a nice block there to help protect Roethlisberger. Weddle was blitzing, and he picked him up. Roethlisberger now gives it to Moore, and just that quickly, 2 plays, and Pittsburgh's down to the San Diego side of the field. Paul Oliver on the tackle, and there's a Charger down. Sean Phillips. The crowd doesn't like it. They think, wait a minute, Is he injured, or is he just trying to buy some time?
Inside of 2 minutes, San Diego will be charged a timeout there, Jim.
There you go.
But look how long it takes. Antonio Holmes, he got underneath coverage. Cromartie on the top, and boy, what a nice placement of the football by Ben Roethlisberger. Defense drops back. Boy, know what you got, check it down, and get those easy yards.
Phillips got an elbow to the Adam's apple, if you will.
Oh, he did, yes.
So Sean Phillips able to walk off after being momentarily stunned.
You know, it's Pittsburgh offense, when they get in these situations, they leave a lot of it to Ben Roethlisberger, allowed to call the plays. They got a very extensive hurry up or 2-minute offense. A lot of options to call from.
How about Roethlisberger, you know, with what he adds to the resume today? In the postseason now, he's had a punt that's been, if you will, downed inside the 10. He had that great tackle on Nick Harper a couple of years back on their way to the Super Bowl, and was the youngest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl.
Well, we were talking about Jim Thorpe a lot this weekend, so there you go.
Multi-dimensional, no doubt. Second and a yard to go with 1:13 and a half. That's wide of Miller.
Well, I think he had to come to Miller a little quicker than he wanted to. That time Luis Castillo was kind of pushing the pocket, so he just says, let me get rid of it quickly. He was coming free. That's why he got rid of it a little sooner, off balance, couldn't get his body turned.
And with all 3 timeouts, they bring in 3 tight ends, try to pick up that yard. With Parker backing it in. No, that's actually Gary Russell, who in the first matchup against San Diego kind of took over, beginning at halftime of that game, the short yardage role for the Steelers.
Halftime, Mike Tomlin went in and said, you are the guy in short yardage situations. And look at it here. There is nothing. They've got it stopped. Who makes the hit? Is that Tim Dobbins?
Yep.
Yes. Got him in the hole, but Gary Russell knows why he's in the game, just specifically for these type of situations, short yardage in the field and on the goal lines, and what a job breaking that tackle. You know,
holding on to it with 2 hands.
Takes a special guy, Jim, to throw that cape off, run in the game, make a play, and come back over on the side and put that cape back on.
Sounds like a superhero to me with that cape analogy. I love it. Coming up, Sprint Halftime Report. JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher. Again, though, break down the first half here and give you all the latest playoff news coming up on this Sprint Halftime Report.
It's all about defining the roles. That is such an important part of the job of a head coach. Make guys feel comfortable and excited about doing just their job.
First down with 1:06. San Diego threatened blitz, drop back. Roethlisberger zips over the head of Holmes, who was open at the 10.
Boy, that was Ben Roethlisberger. We talked about it a few times. His arm is fresh and strong, and he just rips it down the middle of the field. Number 10, Santonio Holmes, in between. Oh, nice move. He makes that little outside move, and it gets Paul Oliver turned the wrong way, and Ben Roethlisberger tried to stick it in there, threw it too high.
Sean Phillips, after sitting out for a snap, is back out with 2 plays. He returns, number 95. Threatening blitz, there he is. On that left side, now drops back. Second down, 10. Roethlisberger steps away from the pressure. Sideline connection with Miller, but a flag. Will it be a 13-yard gain or a hold call?
Illegal formation. 74 offense. Not on the line of scrimmage. Right penalty. Second down.
Right tackle Willie Colon was too far off the line of scrimmage. That's why they get a call. The tackles or the linemen must be. They must have their helmet. Here he is. His helmet's got to be at least to the waistline of the center, and they determine he is too far back. And why do they make a rule like that? Well, they want to make it fair for the defense. Give those edge rushers and the defensive linemen a chance to get to the quarterback.
Back to the 44. 2nd and 15. In the air, way down the field to Ward, to the 5, bounced out at the 4.
Now that was a terrific throw by Roethlisberger. First off, it took a long time. I think he was going to throw it to the original wide receiver who was making a double move, and then Hines Ward was the outlet receiver coming all the way across the field. Look where he goes.
Over Cooper and away from Cromartie.
Oh, man, he just got it in there. Saw a lot of those throws in practice today. First time I've seen it going deep across the field.
Yeah, they called a timeout. 1st and goal. It'll be from the 3. Boy, did that thing, was that a tight spiral?
It was. Just look at him rear back, good leverage, flexible arm, and when you throw spirals, that usually means it came out of your hand perfectly and you got good everything, and it took every bit of it to get in there. And as I was saying, Jim, in practice, he ran a lot of deep crossers trying to take advantage of space down the field after a receiver on one side's made a double move, and it takes a strong arm quarterback to take advantage of situations like that.
And obviously no lingering effects that we're seeing from the concussion 2 weeks ago.
Well, yes, that's right. Not seeing. Well, you got to get hit to see those lingering effects, and he really hasn't been pushed around much so far in this game.
Rested for 1 full week, came back after cleared by the doctors on Monday, practiced all week. And they get the 3 tough yards before halftime. And they finally find the end zone against the Chargers. Talking about the offensive unit. It's Parker. He's going to make his way in. Touchdown, Steelers. Max Starks and Kerry Davis led the way on the left side.
They've been running that play here in Pittsburgh for about 20 years. Bring him down inside. You got good blocking. Oh, there you go. Santonio Holmes, Hines Ward. Kale Matu, the left guard, pulls out, gets a good block. And Max Starks, the left tackle.
Kerry Davis, the last one. So they really had that one cleared out for Parker. And Reed makes it a 14-10 Pittsburgh lead.
Well, in case you want to know, they call this toss 39 U-crack. And the crack is when the wide receiver blocks the in-man line on the line of scrimmage. And you're right, Davis, oh, he just runs into the end zone. Quentin Jammer never has a chance to get squared up and make the tackle.
The 101st offensive play against San Diego this season. Finally producing a touchdown. Touchdowns allowed. Well, this is something that has hurt the Chargers. Cutler got them. Ronnie Brown and the Dolphins against Indianapolis. Regular season, Gonzalez even gave up a kick return in the last 2 minutes of the half against Justin Miller and the Raiders. And another one today with Parker.
Yeah, that drive was all about, when you go back and look at it, it was just all about the pass protection that Ben Roethlisberger got. Start the drive, it took him a long time to throw that first pass. The receiver had to uncover. And those 2 long throws down the field, Jim, they took well over 4 seconds.
40 seconds for San Diego, but no timeouts. Normally you'd think, all right, got a chance to maybe get down at field goal range, but it's going to be hard to do that. It's Cromartie. Takes it to the middle, now tries left side. Had he been able to escape Gary Russell, who knows? Rivers gets the 35-second game plan from Norv. Norv Turner. He had a little, if you will, insider at the facility over there. Didn't get any information, but you know, the Steelers and the Pitt Panthers share the same compound and practice facility. His son Scott is a graduate assistant over there for Coach Dave Wanstad, Coach Turner's boy.
And I heard Mike Tomlin had some things to say to him during the week, having a little fun with him.
First and 10. Sproles. And they stop him up as they have really for the majority of this half on the ground. He's had a couple of screenplays that gave him some business in that first series. Everyone's going to let this one go to half. Rivers going to sprint it in.
Both teams have to feel pretty good about what happened in the first half.
There's a good half of football. Holmes with the run back when they were down 7-0 early. 14-10 Steelers at the intermission. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Ravens heading to the AFC Championship. See it only on WJZ.
Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Get the new NFL Mobile Live only from Sprint, America's largest, most dependable 3G network.
And welcome back to New York in Studio 43 and the Sprint Halftime Report. I'm James Brown with my guys, Dan Marino, Coach Bill Cowher, Shannon Sharp, and Boomer Esiason. The score at the half. Pittsburgh on top by 4, 14-10. It's been like a heavyweight championship fight. 2 big bombs thrown early. Opening drive, San Diego up top. Phillip Rivers hooking up with Vincent Jackson.
Great throw and catch.
7-0 Chargers, Dan, at that point. But
Round one,
the
San Diego,
Steelers
Jay.
answer right back, Shannon. Santonio Holmes. Take a look at this highlight punt return. 67 yards of pay dirt. Low hurdles here, Shannon, right here. Up and over. He takes it in for the score.
Round two,
All knotted
Pittsburgh, JB.
at 7. Coach.
And I'll tell you what, this is when Ben Roethlisberger's at his best. The end of a half, end of a game, he finds Hines Ward. There's no pressure on him. He can find holes. Hines will get sit there. He's going to make the big plays. And then Willie Parker's going to finish off this drive with a touchdown. He's got 52 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry right now in his first half. Pittsburgh's got the running game going. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't look good for San Diego in the second half.
What a risky decision by Mike Tomlin, though, Boomer.
And that's right, guys. I do question the fact that they faked the punt right there towards the end of the first half. They end up giving San Diego great field position. You have the #1 defense in football. Your defense is in complete control of the game. Since that Vincent Jackson touchdown, San Diego has only had 68 total yards. Why would you do that? Does not make any sense to me.
And when you're a good football team, you take a chance like that, you have to come back. And that's what Roethlisberger did there at the end of the half. He came back. And in the first half, before that drive, he really didn't have any big plays down the field. He was missing some throws down the field, but he came back. He only had 24 yards passing until that point. But that's what good teams do.
They respond. They responded after the punt, after the first touchdown, they responded with a punt return. After the field goal, they respond with a touchdown. I'm telling you, they responded in this game.
And you make a great point, Coach, and that's what I was going to lead to, because San Diego come out the first drive, they get the big play over the top to Vincent Jackson, boom, and hey, what does Pittsburgh do? They get the punt return to Santonio Holmes, and now Ben Roethlisberger lead them on the drive right before the half to make it a 14-10 ball game. But Pittsburgh has weathered the storm of San Diego early. You knew they were going to come out feeling good about themselves, but I think Pittsburgh Steelers have done a great job handling it.
And they have bottled up Darren Sproles. That's the one thing that I've noticed in this game. The Pittsburgh defense starting to assert itself, continue to do that. They need to get a little bit more pressure on Phillip Rivers, and they'll be fine.
Co-tenant on Shannon's words, speaking of feeling good about themselves, the Eagles are just that, taking on the Giants at the Meadowlands. After an Asante Samuel pick, Donovan McNabb punches it in from the 1 yard for the score, 7-3 Eagles. But McNabb, pressured in the end zone by Justin Tuck in the second quarter, throws the ball away, called for intentional grounding in the end zone. Safety, 2 points for the Giants, 7-5 Eagles. Then in the fourth quarter, play action, McNabb finding a tight end, Brent Selleck, in the end zone for the 1 yard score, 20-11 Eagles. Eli Manning late, picked off by Quentin Michael as Philly holds on for the win. They advance to the NFC Championship game.
So what does it mean to be back in the NFC Championship game?
Well, it really kind of another chapter to the book of what's happened throughout my career. And you talk about 5 NFC championships. You talk about some ups and downs throughout the courses of the years. It shows the heart that this team has really had and the coaching that we've had and guys believing in one another. to really do our jobs and to put ourselves in a great position like we are right now.
It's a disappointment because, you know, we felt this was a special team, you know, that we could go far with this team. Our defense played outstanding today and gave us opportunities. And, you know, offensively, we didn't do our job and we didn't score enough points.
And that great position for Philadelphia is to travel out west to take on Arizona in the NFC Championship game next Sunday. You talk about 5 NFC Championship games in 10 years. McNabb may have been vilified, but that's a great mark by any standard.
It is, JB, and he played well today. He bought some time with his feet and pick up. He was 50% on third down. But I think the key of this ball game was Jim Johnson, the teacher. He finally got the better of his student, Spagnuolo. The Giants possessed the ball 4 times in the fourth quarter. Turn it over on downs twice, interception, fumble. And when you can get that kind of production from your defense against the New York Giants, the reigning Super Bowl champs, in their building, they have to feel good about themselves going to Arizona.
And the only thing about Arizona, I will say, they played them on a Thursday night. There'll be a lot of benefit having seen that defense and having gone through it. They will learn from that. And this is a different Arizona team than they played that Thursday night. I like Arizona with the way they're playing and playing at home.
All right, let's spin it ahead and talk about the second half of this game.
Well, first of all, I look at San Diego and how they've been able to protect Phillip Rivers. You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers have not really put pressure on him. He's had time to throw in the pocket, so they need to get a few more big plays there, get Sproles involved as far as running the football.
I'll tell you, from Pittsburgh's standpoint, just continue to run the ball. You're running the ball with great success, and don't make any more stupid decisions like fake punts and fake field goals unless you have to, okay?
So you and Shannon are going to co-author a book for whom now?
Coaches.
Go give it to Coach Kyle.
And, Coach, what do you say?
Players play, coaches coach.
Second half coming up right after this.
Coaches can't play.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Get the new NFL Mobile Live only from Sprint, America's largest, most dependable 3G network. CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Get the new NFL Mobile Live only from Sprint, America's largest, most dependable 3G network.
We're back in Pittsburgh. Steelers lead it 14-10. The winner next week to host Baltimore for the Lamar Hunt Trophy and the AFC title. What a start by Rivers and the Chargers. Jackson hauls in the touchdown, but Holmes answers back with a punt return for a score. It's 14-10. Steelers take the lead in the last 2 minutes of the first half. Back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
CSI Miami, Mondays on CBS.
Ravens heading to the AFC Championship. See it only on WJZ.
Sproles and the Chargers, their running attack so far, netting only 15 yards. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms back on the scene here in the Steel City. So the running game's not working so far for San Diego. Roethlisberger got the passing attack on go for the Steelers that last drive of the first half.
San Diego's got to hang in there, Jim. You could see the physical part of the game. It turned a little bit there in the second quarter, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are starting to impose their will a little bit. So the San Diego Chargers got to find a way to get a few plays.
I'd like you to take a look at the first half numbers and what stands out to you here, partner?
Well, the 15 yards rushing, that's the big one, but everything else is even. As you look at total yards, turnovers, time of possession, everything, a pretty even game. But again, the Chargers having a hard time making those plays after that opening drive.
A game that's been turnover-free so far. Scoring summary, 2 minutes, 1 second into the game. Vincent Jackson brings it in from 41 yards out. Holmes able to high step it and hurdle it in on a punt return. There was a Kading field goal from 42, and then the Parker touchdown from 3 yards out. And again, this game is brought to you in high definition here on CBS. Nate Kading, interesting, he's out now to kick. We had seen Cyphers handle this in the first half. Maybe that last kick by Cyphers was so poor They said, we'll sit Cypress down and bring Kading back out, even with the groin injury. Remember that last one by Cypress only went to about the 30. Again, Pittsburgh had one toss and elected to defer to the second half.
Yeah, I think he was maybe trying to do that, though, Jim. I think it was a little pooch kick or whatever you want to call it.
Well, they got the ball all the way out to the 42, so it helped set up that touchdown drive. Simmons good down there to help try to get the early stop on the return by Gary Russell out to the 24. Well, Phil, after a whole season-long diet again of watching AFC action,
First and 10, Steeler
did you
ball.
see a Baltimore-Pittsburgh round 3 or a Baltimore-San Diego matchup in the AFC Championship game? It's going to be one of those two.
Well, nobody, of course, anytime during the year would you have seen Baltimore or San Diego until the very, very end. But the talent of the players, the coaching is, I think, one of the big reasons why talent or the games are so tight, home, away, whatever. Just hard to get a competitive edge when it comes to coaching them up.
It's Parker, one of the stars of the first half for sure, and he picks up 2. So now on the NFC side, we're all set for the NFC title game. It'll be in the desert. Boy, the Cardinals, they missed out by a year having a crack at hosting the Super Bowl, coming off of that Super Bowl host giant win over the Patriots last February, but it'll be Philadelphia at Arizona. They met on Thanksgiving night this season, and they'll play this time for the right to go to the Super Bowl.
I listened to that game on the radio. It was awful to listen to. So I expect a big change, though, this time.
Missed him.
That's Parker able to get outside. Boy, he just with a sixth sense, he felt it shut down and skirted outside for 13.
Yeah, Stephen Gregory, number 28, comes in. They got a little run blitz on, misses the tackle. And Willie Parker, you said it early in the game, Jim, looks fresh, looks healthy, and has been a very good running back here so far today. San Diego, that's what you want to do. You want to do some run blitzes to stop their running game.
King Moyatu threw a big block and a beautiful one also by Nate Washington. Parker getting about 6 yards to carry. And another 3 this time.
I heard Boomer Esiason say at halftime, don't go away from the running game if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, they've talked about it so much. It's such a part of the culture here in this city that I don't think they will. But, boy, it was tempting watching that last drive before the first half. The protection for Roethlisberger and the fact that he was throwing it with authority, that's hard not to keep on the top of your head.
2nd and 7. Riding Parker hard. Dobbins, though, is there. And this time they shut him down.
Yeah, Dobbins is there. Jamal Williams, number 76, in the backfield. And that's how you're doing a running game. Get penetration.
3rd and 7 at the 41.
Oh, man, Jamal Williams, 4 or 5 yards back there. Stephen Cooper told us yesterday, if we can stop the run, it'll be because of number 76. That's it.
Olshansky was also in on that hit. Now it's a 3rd and long for the Steelers. They'll go gun. Chargers blitz. They pick it up. Pass. Caught. That's Holmes. At the San Diego 49. Quentin Jammer on the coverage. They pick up 10.
Yeah, watch the blitzers come. Nice movement. They time it really well, and my gosh, they didn't only protected Ben Roethlisberger, they were knocking defenders down. And you get in this formation here, 3 receivers together, so the defenders can't bump them at the line of scrimmage. It gives you time to get down there fast enough and far enough to get those first downs.
Holmes 2 catches and the punt return for a touchdown. And Roethlisberger throwing it now with great accuracy and zip, and he's going back to the air. Going long, looking for Holmes. Oh, and not quite able to catch up to it at the goal line.
Roethlisberger's pass intended
What
for
a
Holmes,
design of a play. Let's draw this one up on the blackboard, getting ready for the week. We're going to do this. We're going to play action fake, And then, Ben, we want you to throw it about 60 yards down and across the field. And it is a high, long throw, and Santonio Holmes so close.
And man, was he open.
And Clinton Hart, he can't believe it. He's 40 yards down the field, has to turn and run, not able to get there.
Yeah, he was 3 or 4 yards at least behind Holmes. Lyman Swede now lined up to the right for the Steelers. On second down, Parker again gets wrestled for a loss of a yard, losing that wrestling match to Matt Wilhelm. Here's Holmes' day so far. The electrifying return that tied this game at 7. And a reverse. And caught a couple of passes.
Well, you got to like, well, that's what you want from your offense. Let's try to run the football. And you get a first down. And then, okay, we've run it a few times. They think we are. And then you look for the deep throw down the field.
3rd and 11. Needing to get to the San Diego 39. There's another strike. It's Washington to the San Diego 32 and a first.
Boy, beautiful throw, beautiful design again. Nate Washington goes down the field. Everybody in the NFL does it. First off, you need protection when you're looking to pick up 3rd and long. I'd say that qualifies as very good protection. Watch 85, going to break to the outside. Then at the last second, he stops. The defense thinks he's going to keep coming. They think they got it covered. Nope. Wide open.
Couple of Roethlisberger fastballs on 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 11 on this drive. The way to come out of the locker room. They go with Parker. And Antoine Applewhite holds him to a 2-yard gain.
You know, the Chargers, they want to say, they told us, look, the Steelers they don't feel have great speed at the wide receiver position, but they make up for it because they get in a lot of stacked formations where you get 3 receivers together. Well, what are you going to do if you're a defender? You've got to back off because you don't know where they're going. And once you back off, you give anybody in the NFL a running start, tough to cover.
But that Pittsburgh running game has now started to set up the Roethlisberger pass game. It's Davis. No gain. Stephen Cooper is the one who brought him down. Roethlisberger again coming off the concussion 2 weeks ago, able to play and play well here today. LaDainian Tomlinson not dressed, inactive. First game he's missed in 3 seasons, out with a groin injury.
Once again, 3rd and long for the Charger defense. This is why they lost the first game. They couldn't stop them in long, obvious passing situations. It's a new look.
Miller. Again, they convert on 3rd and long. And again, the pocket was sealed for Roethlisberger.
Well, it was a new look on the defense. Only 2 guys down. Everybody standing up, trying to get confusion. And then watch Heath Miller. Well, they send the receivers down the field. He sneaks out late. Ben Roethlisberger says if you're going to drop back and protect against the long throw, he'll take the short one. Really good job of finding the second receiver or your second thought as a quarterback by Ben Roethlisberger.
They put together a big drive before the half, led to the touchdown that gave them the lead, and now continuing that kind of rhythm and precision. And Parker has it to about the 8.
Just think about it, Jim. You say it, hey, the running game is taking over and they're what they're doing, but it's the 3rd down passing by the Steelers that's been the difference by far in this drive.
Look how they've shortened the game here too, partner. It's already mid-3rd quarter and San Diego has not seen the football.
Well, what do we say? Can San Diego meet the challenge? You felt like physically the Steelers maybe started to take over at the end of the first half.
Second down, Roethlisberger has Miller, and he fights for it, and he gets it. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
And then Ben Roethlisberger looking in the end zone for two receivers. They are both covered, never hesitates, looks for the third one. Again, it's the tight end Miller. Ben Roethlisberger making good decisions and physically throwing it very well.
And coming up big on 3 third and longs. And now the Steelers are up 11. Heath Miller, 2 catches on the drive, the second one for the score.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
7 minutes, 56 seconds coming out of the locker room. 13-play drive. Roethlisberger 5 of 6 for 54 yards and the touchdown throw to Miller.
Well, what you just say, he goes, we've done a lot of Steeler games. It's about as good as I've seen Ben Roethlisberger really throw the football. Just razor sharp. Actually missed one throw today because probably came out of his hand, had more power than he's used to because he's rested, got over some of the arm ailments he's had during the year.
Yep. You know, last year when they lost to Jacksonville in that wild card round here at Heinz Field, even Ben, he said it to you on Friday, we were just dead tired last year when we got to the playoffs.
Had nothing left. Even Mike Tomlin said it too.
Sproles has to come up to the 15 to get it. He's on his way. He's at midfield. Going to cut to the sideline. Mike Taylor has the angle, and Darren Sproles puts some life right back into the Chargers.
How about that? That equalizes a lot of things.
Boy, does it.
Darren Sproles just so fast in the little tight spots. When he makes the decision, able to just to go full speed up through the gap. And a nice cut here gets him about an extra 15 to 20 yards.
63 yards he takes it, Phil. And watching a number of players help lead him down the field, including Kasim Osgood, who turned around and blocked the path of one Pittsburgh player to help spring Sproles. They've got Michael Bennett in the backfield. Sproles getting a little breather after that run back, and the ball's tipped, and 2 Steelers are there. The ball is intercepted. It looks like Larry Foote with the football. Kiesel tipped it. And just like that, all set up to get right back into it. Kiesel's play puts it right back in the hands of Pittsburgh. We're coming out with a review. Just seconds ago, Norv Turner dropped the red challenge flag.
Yeah, it's a good challenge. Such a big play in the game. But watch the football, Jim, as they go to the ground.
You know, it looks like Harrison had it, then Foote stripped it away from Harrison. But did he have his right hand underneath there?
San Diego is challenging the ruling that the last pass was intercepted.
Norv making Bill Levy understand exactly what it is he's challenging. Takes a little turf, throws it in the air. We'll find out. Will the interception stand, or will it be overturned, giving the Chargers the football again deep in Pittsburgh territory? What do you think?
You see the football go to the ground. Remember, you look at those yellow gloves the Steelers have on. Is that it? When you look at it, it's right there. But I can't tell if that's the glove or the football.
To me, it looks like Foote has cupped his hand under the ball. Yeah.
You know, my first reaction when we saw the replay, I said, oh, that hit the ground. But now I can't see anything that says overturning it.
The defender got his hand underneath the ball. It is an interception. San Diego will be charged the first time out, and their last challenge of the game.
Give the interception to Larry Foote. You know, it's interesting that James Harrison has 3 interceptions in his career. 2 of them have been against San Diego. Almost got one here, except his own teammate got a takeaway from Harrison. Foote ends up with it, and it's back to the Steelers on offense.
Yeah, he tell everybody, yeah, I had it. There he is in the middle with the cape. He's the vocal leader of the linebackers on the Steelers.
First turnover in this game today. And Parker for about 3. San Diego and their challenge situation for the rest of this game, Phil?
It's over.
That's it.
But, you know, Jim, a situation like that, when in doubt, such a big moment in the game, and where it is on the field, Norv Turner absolutely did the right thing in challenging.
Now you have to wonder about the San Diego defense wearing down, because with this snap, 33 of the last 44 plays have been run by Pittsburgh. And in fact, the last 2 drives for touchdown. Look at the stutter step move by Parker. And Weddle lassos him after a gain of 4.
Well, you think back how many times we were here during the year, and Willie Parker, we saw Mewelde Moore running the football, and Willie Parker not at full strength. Well, I don't know if it was a stutter step or just the turf or a misstep. But able just to turn it on and still get outside.
I thought for a minute he was going to turn around and run in the wrong direction. I wasn't sure, but he still even gained yardage out of that. 82 yards, and again, been on a 100-yard pace all game long. They've converted their last 4 third-down situations. This is only 3rd and 3. Back to Holmes. Look at the block by Roethlisberger. Holmes has the first. Picked up 4, and Ben throws a big block.
Yeah, he does. A little inside reverse. An obvious running situation, or sometimes running situation for the Steelers. Not like a lot of teams. 3rd and 3 and 4. They'll run it. And the quick inside reverse gets them a first down. Roethlisberger just, hey, you got to do what you got to do. Punt the football, throw a good block.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
And throw it when they're open.
As Parker, and then he gets knocked down by Cooper with authority.
How about the last drive, the bunch formations by the Steelers? Hard to get near them when they do that little open spaces, and Ben Roethlisberger throws it in there. Again, 3 receivers. Look how it makes the defense separate. Holmes wide open, and then the look down the field. Heath Miller's the blocker. When he releases, nice decision by Ben Roethlisberger.
17 plays to 1 snap.
It was a highlight drive that last one.
Oh, it's been the last 2 really. 17 plays to 1 run by San Diego this quarter, and Parker gets the first, and there is a flag back near the line of scrimmage. Will the 13 yards hold up? No.
Number 83 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Called on Miller.
Heath Miller, the tight end, good receiver, excellent blocker. Here he is. Got his hands there. Oh, that's what it is. If the run stays inside, it's never going to be called because he had his hands inside the framework of his body. But once that runner breaks outside, the defender pulls away. You see the jersey pull.
Puts him into a 2nd and 16. Draw to the 31. Yet another 3rd and long coming up for Pittsburgh. Relive and watch every game of the 2008 regular season and the playoffs after they are played online on demand in stunning HD quality video with NFL.com's new Game Rewind. You can sign up today at NFL.com/Game Rewind. Can Ben do it again?
Look at those 3rd downs. We said it, when you're a running football team, you're going to be put in a lot of these situations.
Got to get to the 42 for the first. It's the completion underneath, tossed down by Weddle. It was Mewelde Moore with the catch, and finally they stop the Steelers. Mitch Berger will be called to duty. This is for Mitch Berger, his 10th NFL team in 14 years in the league. Sproles trying to come, bounced off the helmet, picked up a run bounce by the Steelers. William Gay. They're going to call it the muff rule. They'll be putting the football back at the 22. It bounced off the helmet of Eric Weddle. Can't advance it, but the Charger mistakes are mounting.
The ball hit a San Diego player. Cannot be advanced by the kicking team. First down, Pittsburgh.
Cannot be advanced.
Eric Weddle doing a good job in the block, and really what happens, you always have a sense where the football might end up if you're blocking, but you look at the rotation of the football, it goes a lot shorter than they expect, and that's one of the big reasons why it hits Eric Weddle.
Look at James Harrison. He is going to be very well rested when we get to this fourth. He's going to run it out with him. You know, they pick up a first down here in the next couple of plays. They could run out this quarter, still driving, and hold San Diego to one snap in a quarter. How many times have you ever seen that? 19-1 plays right now.
Starting to mirror the game they had when it was 11-10 8 weeks ago.
And they whistle it down. We had no turnovers in the first half of this game. Now we've had two.
Full start. Number 72 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Hold on, Stapleton. We've had two in the last 5 minutes committed by San Diego. And the Chargers, by the way, their defense out there with Quentin Jammer on the sidelines with a cramp. So Cletus Gordon has taken his position. Here he is, Gordon. Third-year man out of Jacksonville State. Now that was that a pass or a lateral? Yeah, they call it incomplete. The San Diego defense has to hold them to nothing more than 3 right now.
Yeah, this is Jim. Just to answer your question, where does Ben Roethlisberger throw the football from, and where does it go? It looks like it goes forward. It does.
Yep, threw it at the 33, and that ball touched his hands at the 32. An incompletion in a 2nd and 15. Lays out the fake, goes to Ward, who gets free and picks up the first. He escaped Kaysen, and there's a flag on the back end of it.
And a flag on the play.
After the one was out of bounds, personal foul on the 24 defense.
We just told you about Cletus Gordon. Frustration setting in.
Hines Ward just so strong, terrific blocker, and this time they use him just as a release valve after a play action fake, and he gets in there and gets that extra yard, and Cletus Gordon loses his cool.
Ridiculous play. Hines Ward.
Well, he'll get under the, what's the word for it? He'll make you lose your nerves
Yeah,
or whatever. He can talk a little bit, loves to hit to the end of the play. That's what you're supposed to do.
Parker near the 1.
Willie Parker.
I think I was searching for he'll get under your skin.
Yeah, and a whole lot more.
Yeah.
It's interesting when we meet with the players of the Pittsburgh opponent, they always talk about Hines Ward and how he'll do just that.
And you know what? They don't say it in derogatory terms. It's always, most of the time, am I right?
With respect.
It's respect.
Yep.
They respect what he's doing and like it, and know they got to match the intensity when they play against him.
2nd and goal. Russell comes in, short yardage. They fake to him. Roethlisberger look for him, now for another option, and throws it away. Well defended.
Roethlisberger's pass incomplete.
Wow, was it ever. What a job by the San Diego defense. Talked about it so much to us. You got to stay on your guy when Ben Roethlisberger moves around. Trying to get it to Russell in the flat. He's covered. And then all this movement, and nobody can get open. So finally, throws it away.
He kept waiting for Russell to get open. Nothing developed. A field goal would keep it a 2-score game if the San Diego defense can lock this play up. Russell fighting for it and not getting there.
Well, he got an extra foot or two, though, which will make this decision tough for Mike Tomlin.
Now probably have to make that decision at the start of the fourth quarter.
I think it's just a couple inches away. This is where you go for the win.
Seiler and Cooper deny him.
Mike Tomlin said he felt a lot more comfortable getting ready for this game. Says, hey, I actually laid my head on the pillow and went to sleep because I have faith in our football team and where we're at. Big decision coming up. 4th and goal coming up to start the fourth quarter. And you're watching the NFL on CBS.
You're watching the NFL on CBS. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by 21st Century Auto Insurance. Just right, just for you. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
What we didn't see at first, Phil, was a little bit of a sloppy moment here when Davis first got the handoff.
Yeah, he fumbles the handoff. It's not clean. That takes away his momentum. And Brandon Seiler in there to make the stop.
From the end zone, they get it out to Hester. And he's got him all the way out to the 12 for a first down. And for those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. Chargers and Steelers trying to advance to the AFC Championship game. Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms. 21-10 Pittsburgh lead here early in the fourth.
Jim, watch one more time. Davis, watch the football. Goes down, makes a catch. That stopped all of his progress. And again, Brandon Seiler was in there anyway.
Rivers in trouble. Woodley has him down and throws him down. The forward progress will have it out at the 2.
Well, you worry so much about James Harrison on one side, and then you realize this other guy, Lamar Woodley, wow, that's close. He threw him down to the ground. You got to be careful.
I saw Rivers make an appeal for that.
Yeah, unnecessary roughness.
Woodley's second sack today.
The initial coverage is good. That's what allows Woodley to get in there and make the tackle.
A 2nd and 20. And in the area of Nene. You love that decision going for it. And, you know, when you're up 21-10. You're going against a tired defense. That's what makes the play even that much more remarkable by San Diego.
You're 2 inches away from the game being over. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I didn't find it to be that tough of a decision for Mike Tomlin to make. I think the San Diego Chargers would have preferred they kick the field goal and just make it a 2-score game instead of them going for it, but they came through with the stop.
On 3rd and 20, middle of the field and over the head of Gates.
Boy, backed up, the crowd noise. You're playing the best defense in the NFL. How'd you like to be the quarterback in a situation like this? And looking down the field and almost knowing, I'll tell you what, boy, the windows are so tight. The defenders jumping up and then the people from behind coming.
You got Cypress punting. You wouldn't even think about safety here, taking a safety, would you, at 21-10? Getting out of this jam, you just got...
That's a good thought, Jim.
Punted away. Cypress with a good one. Holmes, though, has a 20-yard jump. Was brought down by David Ben, the long snapper. Yep, playing in his 250th career game. Looking for the final piece of the playoff puzzle on divisional weekend. The Steelers lead it here 21-10 in the fourth quarter. Trying to become the only home team to advance this weekend. Baltimore, Arizona, and Philadelphia all victorious on the road so far. And that's Willie Parker for 4 yards. Talking about the divisional weekend. A winner by Stover for the Ravens. Edging out the Titans. What a football game that was. And then down 7 early, the Cardinals shocked and rocked the Panthers. The Eagles today passed the Giants. How about a little nod to Ken Wisenhunt, the head coach of the Cardinals, a former coordinator, offensive coordinator here at Pittsburgh. Look at these first conference championship games since the merger for the Cardinals. Flacco does it again. Look who's airing it out. It's Roethlisberger. Deep ball and almost there. Oh, they got the flag. They've got the flag to set them up on the precipice of the put-away score. Nate Washington, the intended receiver. Weddle and Gordon doubled him up, and a flag is thrown.
Well, what they did, they just kept everybody in on the play-action fake, and they gave Nate Washington a chance to go down the field and make a double move.
Pass interference, number 32 defense, in the end zone. Ball will be placed at the 1 yard line.
Almost like the Baltimore and Tennessee game when the quarterback throws it high and far down the field. Very tough. What's the double move? The in cut. They're in position, but once the football is in the air, Eric Weddle reaches for the football before it gets there. Ben Roethlisberger. Now that's plenty of time. He airs it out. Just another reason why you throw it long.
He rolls over to watch the result. Yes, and he is pumped as he saw the flag come out. You like the call? Was it the right call?
I love it. Oh, yes, it was pass interference, and you throw it long. Sometimes you hope to catch it, but pass interference is always an option, too.
First and goal. And it's Russell taking it in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Really throwing the football deep down the field. They missed the last situation like this, but Gary Russell, patient, waits, sees where the opening is, and takes it outside.
Gary Russell, the forgotten back at the University of Minnesota, if you will. They had some guys up there who could run with it. At the same time he was there, talking about Lawrence Maroney and Marion Barber and Gary Russell. It down, and that's now 21 unanswered since late in the first half. And Phillip Rivers got to be saying, you know, I almost need to go back through my pregame warm-ups. I haven't been on that field barely at all in the last, if you will, about 90 minutes real time. What do we come up with now?
6 plays in about the last hour and a half for the San Diego offense.
Yep. Going back to that drive where the Steelers scored with 40 seconds to go in the half. Sproles had one big run back, looking for another. About the 28. Inside 13 minutes to play. San Diego comes out to the 27, and this crowd here in Steeler country stirred to a frenzy. Ready to take off on the quarterback. Jackson makes the grab on the slant about 2 yards shy of a first. They're going to go hurry up. They have to. 12 and a half to go. How do you make up 3 scores against the #1 defense in the league? But again, San Diego, everything they've done here in the back half of the year, just inconceivable they'd even be here today. And Rivers meets Brett Kiesel. Kiesel with 2 big plays in the half. The tip that led to a pick and the sack.
Oh, they just missed the assignments up front. That allows Kiesel to come in basically unblocked. And you said it, the other big play, Jim, the tip pass.
Yep.
Boy, the Steelers, when you watch their defense, it's nothing like it used to be. They're not trying to fool you. They just beat you with their talent. It's not near as complicated as it used to be a couple years ago.
On the run. Sidearms it. Gates. No, it's Manu Maliuna with the big effort to keep the drive going.
Well, not only that, they were trying to throw a little screen, and no lineman went down the field, which was pretty impressive by the San Diego Chargers. And Phillip Rivers does a good job just waiting, trying to buy time and make a play.
Gets away from Polamalu of all people, picks up 14. Before that play, Chargers had 1 yard of total offense in this half. On first down. Sproles. Ridden down by Lawrence Olajuwon Timmons. His mother, a huge basketball fan. Her favorite player, Akeem Olajuwon. So, alas, the middle name goes for 11.
Well, Darren Sproles knows wants to get to the sideline and stop that clock. Can't make it, so it just burns off valuable seconds.
Rivers throws it away. The crowd was watching a little action between Dielman and Harrison. They wanted a hold call. And now you hear the boos coming out because Harrison looked like he was ready to burst through. He got tangled with Dielman here.
Oh, boy, the initial move was terrific by James Harrison. They've done a good job blocking him in the passing game today. But we talked about, sometimes you got to worry about the guy on the other side, too.
Second down from the Steelers' 48. It's going for Manu Maliuna. Tonight on CBS 60 Minutes, which again is coming up after football. West Coast, you'll see it at your normal time. An investigation into the wild swings in oil prices produces some answers that may surprise you. It's followed by new episodes of Cold Case and The Unit. It's all tonight right here on CBS.
Phillip Rivers, he has to be thinking and knowing this is 4-down territory.
For Chambers, hauls it in. Taylor on the tackle, first down. 15 yards gain. They've picked up a couple of 3rd and longs on this drive.
Yeah, that was a good job by Chris Chambers. The one thing you can count on, or they thought would happen, the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive backs in certain situations, they're going to play so far off, they're going to allow you to throw it outside into the sidelines like that last throw to Chris Chambers. Because it takes so long, they think they're rushing to get there before you throw it.
Thrown away.
Rivers pass incomplete. Second down and 10.
You know, you look at this game, Jim, and you think, well, you saw the tide turning a little bit at the end of the first half, but one of the big keys that really sticks out, the San Diego Chargers blitzed quite a bit, trying to stop the Steelers' run game and pass game, and basically just didn't have any success. The Steelers used their week off, and they were prepared for all situations that they were going to be shown today, and they really stood up well to them.
2nd and 10. Polamalu coming in. Rivers got it away. Perfect pass and caught by Chambers. He was open and struggled to make the catch. There is a flag at the end of this. I think they hit
personal foul.
Rivers late.
Roughing the passer, number 43, defense. Low to the head. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
where Polamalu comes from. Good timing. And he hit his right hand went up into the face mask of Phillip Rivers. Boy, Polamalu, what a good job of redirecting. What a throw by Rivers down the middle, right on target to Chris Chambers.
25-yard pass play, half the distance with the penalty. Now poised at the 4 to go in here as we approach 9 minutes. Touchdown San Diego. Legadou Nane. What an impressive drive that was. Rivers able to pull off a couple of 3rd and longs.
Yeah, it really was. Receivers offset Chris Chambers. That allows him, Nane, he's able to come under and beat Ike Taylor because of the formation. And another nice throw by Phillip Rivers.
They drive 73 yards in a little less than 4 minutes.
And you go for the 1 instead of 2 because you want to prolong the game. We're still just 2 scores down after this extra point.
So there you go at 28-17. First touchdown of Legadou's career comes in the playoff game. And Phillip Rivers taking his team down the field. Second touchdown throw of this game. He set the Charger franchise record this year with 34 touchdown passes, breaking the Dan Fouts mark. It's too early onside kick, isn't it?
I think it is. The Steelers are prepared for it. They got a few people up. You kick off. You make the Steelers make decisions about the game. What plays to call? You onside kick. They'll just run it and punt it back to you.
Noel Moore. Runs into the traffic at the 27.
Well, Jim, the key play of the last drive, Phillip Rivers, the blitz by Polamalu up the middle. Look at the zone behind it, and Chris Chambers across the middle. Perfect throw. Gets him down inside to get that touchdown to make this a... Of course, it's a 2-score game, no matter if they kick the extra point or not. But it's a touchdown and a field goal. Of course, you have to go for 2 when you score the touchdown.
Watching this game up off the giant screen, staying warm, hoping there's some way his teammates can add yet another miracle to this late season rally. Roethlisberger has another idea though, going long, and it is caught. Now they rule it incomplete. Touch the ground. Nate Washington was down there for a minute. I thought he had it.
Yeah, Nate Washington against Cletus Gordon.
Covered by Gordon.
Boy, the Steelers have been airing it out today, and that is going to be incomplete. Even though he was on the ground, the defender has contact with him, and when you go to the ground with the defender in contact with you, you basically got to get up with the football. It can never leave your possession.
Looks like, again, for the second time, it looks like Lynn Swann over Mark Washington in a Super Bowl down in Miami long ago. And well done there by Doug Rosenbaum, who rules it incomplete. Just inside 9 minutes to go, Sean Merriman. Imagine that, divisional round. We got Merriman, who's been out really for the year. Tomlinson inactive today. The team trying to stay in the game at 28-17 after a Pittsburgh timeout. That's Washington holding on to it. And brought down by Gordon.
Let me say, a lot of people, you're probably wondering why did the Steelers go deep on the first play? They didn't want to. They went with a play-action pass, and Ben Roethlisberger thought, and I'm sure they thought, the running back in the flat would be wide open. Bruce Arians will get 7 or 8 yards on first down, but they got pressure defense. There was nowhere to throw the football except down the field.
All right, wait for my referee.
3rd and 4. These 4 yards worth arguably up to a couple of minutes or more for the Steelers side of it. San Diego has a chance to usher its offense right back onto the field. And they pick up the first. Hines Ward with the catch. Looked like Steve Gregory had a chance to make a play on the pick.
Yeah, he did. Stacking the receivers. They get down the field again free. And, boy, that's just driving the football into a tight spot. Good timing. Roethlisberger, perfect spiral. And Gregory just can't get there before the football does. That's field position. Extra yards, even if you get it back. And, of course, a couple more minutes probably off the clock.
51.
And Parker for about 2. We've got a little doubleheader of college basketball next week. Georgetown and Duke. And Arizona State, UCLA. Ian Eagle and Greg Anthony will be there for that Georgetown-Duke game. 2 teams in the top 10 on the road to the Final Four here on CBS next Saturday.
Ian Eagle here today doing the game.
Yep. Hey. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You know, it's a me, but it seems like there's about 35 teams ranked in the top 20 in college basketball this year. Everybody's 2, 6, 8.
Shaping up for a great run in March. Parker scooting outside, shakes off Gordon. Weddle slows him down. And Parker, remember we said earlier, one time in his postseason career, a rush longer than 15 yards. We showed it, the longest run in Super Bowl history. Well, he's got a second one now. 27 with this one.
Well, nothing inside, bounces it outside, and gets those extra yards and almost puts the football game away for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's what you need. When you got a running back that's fast enough to go to that second option, and like Willie Parker, hey, like Chris Johnson did for the Tennessee Titans yesterday. When it's not there inside, go outside and get those yards.
Parker with 122 on the ground. And another carry. And another hard run for about 6.
Steelers have really, the running game hasn't been what everybody expects here in Pittsburgh. We're so used to thinking about them pounding in there and getting yards when they want to. Jerome Bettis and all the terrific running backs. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that Willie Parker has not been healthy all year long. And look what he did today, or has done so far, 128 yards.
So well documented how he was undrafted out of North Carolina. Where in his career there with the Tar Heels, he started 3 games as a sophomore, 2 as a junior, and none as a senior. Moore, 2nd and 4. He bounces outside. Stiff arms Cromartie, who takes him out. But not until he picks up the first.
Well, since it's outside of 5 minutes, so once the football is respotted, the clock will start again, even though it went out of bounds.
Weldy Moore will go back out. Parker returns.
Well, this is the kind of game, I know it's not over, but the way they've executed on both sides of the ball, there's a lot of bright spots for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Gives you a lot of confidence if you're able to hang on here going into next week's game against Baltimore.
1st and 10. Parker into the arms of Dobbins. I know how much you examine the way a quarterback throws the football, but look what else Roethlisberger's done today. The little pooch punt, the passing, the blocking.
Nice block.
And a little support from the sidelines. I think the Chargers have seen enough of Big Ben this season. Now 3 times they've seen Big Ben this season.
3 times?
Yeah. Well, you were there for the 3rd. The real Big Ben in London.
Oh, man. Way over my head.
San Diego and New Orleans at Wembley. We were there. But running out the clock here. And Parker taking it toward the end zone, and he's in for a touchdown.
Well, you got a motivated offense, a motivated running back, and a defense. You've documented it many times. They've been on the field about midway 2nd quarter till the end. And they're tired. And when you get tired, it's hard to stop a running game.
This is the best we've seen Parker. We've had so many of the Steeler games this year. And again, hasn't been healthy until late in the year. And that's quite a combo today. 53 yards on that drive alone by Willie Parker. His second touchdown of the game. And it's 35-17 with 4 minutes to go. San Diego needed that stop back there on 3rd and 4 when there were still about 8 minutes and 56 seconds to go. You saw the anguish with Rivers when the Steelers picked up that first. Again tonight, all new here on America's Most Watched Network, 60 Minutes, Cold Case the Unit. Well, if Pittsburgh could go ahead and put this away, which you would expect, it would be round 3 for Baltimore and Pittsburgh. And those first 2 games have been memorable. 2 games won by Pittsburgh. You see 6:30 next Sunday game coverage, all beginning with the NFL Today. Next Sunday at 6 with JB and Pittsburgh's very own Dan Marino, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher. Speaking of Pittsburgh guys. But we'll have a 6 and a 4 on the NFC side, Philadelphia at Arizona. And it's shaping up as a 6 and a 2 on the AFC side. And hold on a minute, the ball fell off the tee for Jeff Reed. But those 2 games between the Ravens and Steelers decided by a total of 7 points. An overtime game here, one on a Jeff Reed kick. And we were there for the second one in Baltimore.
Yeah, you know, it was fun to do the second one, and it was fun listening to, you know, not bad words, but it's a tremendous rivalry to say the least.
With the Giants going out today, it's going to be another year where a #1 seed doesn't win the Super Bowl. Only one #1 seed, Tennessee, getting eliminated yesterday, has won the Super Bowl in this decade. And Sproles to the 24. Week 4 was the first meeting of the season. They had the throwbacks, and they had the Reed winner in OT. And then week 15 at Baltimore, the controversial catch, or touchdown call, I guess was the controversy, was Holmes across. It was ruled touchdown, and the Steelers won it.
Look at those numbers. Not a lot of points, of course. Rushing yards, everything tough to come by. Steelers and Ravens.
Going behind Vincent Jackson. We've been around that Ravens team a bunch this year, too, and every time you see him, and that remarkable first-year coach, John Harbaugh, you really do sense that there's something special about that team. You could feel it going into the playoffs, and of course we were there to see him win the first week down in Miami. They won yesterday down in Nashville.
Well, the big thing for the Ravens, it's not a short week this week. They got 8 days to get ready instead of 6, which they had going down to Tennessee. I thought it showed the lack of rest. They got pushed around more than I've seen them pushed around all year long.
The deep ball, Vincent Jackson was back there. 3rd and 10 coming up. We got the Subway postgame show immediately after this one. We'll send it back to New York. JB will wrap up the weekend with all the guys on the desk there on the Subway postgame show.
And not that the San Diego Chargers are looking ahead, Jim, but just talking to some of the coaches and everything, they're so proud and happy of what they've done, but they also couldn't wait to the offseason to get ready for next year. Everybody healthy and really put this team back together again.
They're down Rivers, and they're draped all over him. Aaron Smith and James Harrison. Got to think they'll share that sack. 4th time they get to Rivers today.
Yeah, now they're trying to send receivers down the field. So Phillip Rivers has really got to hold the football, and just everything's so obvious for the Steelers now, and they're taking advantage of it.
Look at James Harrison, first ever undrafted player to win the Defensive Player of the Year. Set the team record this year for sacks. And they bring Cypress back out to punt with 3:28 to go. Decide not even to go for it here with 3 minutes left. And that's a fair catch by Moore. Well, the Steelers offense didn't get on the board until 40 seconds to go in the first half. They had an impressive drive there, another one to start the second half. Parker, a moment ago, their first touchdown came on this 68-yard return by Holmes. Special teams went their way with the fumble off the helmet of Weddle. The defense making plays, sacking Rivers 4 times. Byron Leftwich is in at quarterback now. Ben Roethlisberger will not be exposed the rest of this game. Roethlisberger today, by the way, became just the 5th quarterback in the history of the league to start in the playoffs in 4 of his first 5 NFL seasons. No quarterback's ever started in each of his first 5 seasons in a playoff game. And that's Russell.
Well, there are a lot of good things for Roethlisberger today. Didn't take many hits, so that'll carry over and make him fresh again next week.
Here's the other ones that he joins on the list. Bernie Kosar.
The old Donovan.
Yep, Donovan. Eli Manning. Good for Donovan McNabb, you know, after all that broke loose after the tie game against Cincinnati and the game followed after that. And all the critics that were out there for that team and for that player to respond the way they have. And for the Giants' purposes, you know, things were never the same after Plexico decided in this Me First generation to, you know, go out and put his career in jeopardy and probably cost his team another great run at a back-to-back Super Bowl. They were never the same again, the Giants.
No, there are a lot of good stories in the NFL too, Jim. One of them here in Pittsburgh, what they've overcome this year. And of course, anybody, you got to overcome a lot of things to have success in the playoffs in the NFL. We saw Dick LeBeau on the sideline, been here for so long. Another great defense for him.
Byron Leftwich, a little confusion on that one. He's done a good job at Leftwich this year when he's been called on as the backup. Former Jacksonville quarterback. Philadelphia in Arizona. You get the bye, you get the you know, the week off, and both the Giants and Carolina get the home game, and they don't take advantage of it. The Eagles and Arizona, again, Whisenhunt with all of his Steeler ties. What a job he does out in the desert in his second year. 1 game away from the Super Bowl, each of those 2 teams.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. The Cardinals last night. It's the fact that they got some energy in the game and they got ahead, but very seldom do you see a team just keep that energy level over the top for the whole contest. And they did it last night. Of course, some of those throws by Jake Delhomme helped them keep that energy, but still, the Carolina was flying around on both sides of the football, and they deserved to win.
3rd and 7 at the 3-minute mark. And Leftwich, frozen rope. What a pass! Should have been caught. Swede unable to hold on to it, the rookie from Texas.
Boy, how many deep throws have we seen today by the Pittsburgh Steelers? Byron Leftwich on that one, and Roethlisberger before, that have all been on target or just off the fingertips. Was it tipped? I don't think it was.
I mean, that was an absolute strike.
Yeah, it was a beautiful throw.
Berger back out. Sproles ready to return. Waiting for it to unfold, but well covered down the field. Excellent coverage by the Steelers. 49-yard punt, only a 4-yard run back. Again, we got the Subway postgame show. After the game, JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer, and Coach Cowher, their take on this one. Plus, we'll have all the latest playoff news and information coming up. Subway postgame show. There is Dick LeBeau, who's been around this league for now almost 50 years.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty interesting. Mike Tomlin last year gets the head job. He coaches the 4-3. defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. He comes in, and one of the first things he does, he keeps Dick LeBeau. He goes, hey, I don't have to teach my defense. I can just help him out a little bit because this guy knows what he's doing. And it's didn't let his ego get in the way.
Catch by Chambers.
Well,
oh, man, has it. Chambers with a 20-yard grab. Talking about a guy here, when you look at the NFL leaders on the season, well, 1, 2, and 3 are still alive. Arizona 19th, but that defense last night didn't look like the 19th on the season. They made those plays against the Panthers on the road.
Well, so many times we talk about the quarterbacks and all the skill people, most because we follow the football. It's amazing. Comes down to the best defenses almost every year.
Hester ridden down by Timmons after a gain of 2.
Tackled by 94, Lawrence Timmons.
Chargers with no timeouts. Approaching the 2-minute mark. That's a catch. Well, a little conference first. Now it's not. And Vincent Jackson and Taylor actually had the ball in the end.
I thought you said it's a catch. It's an interception.
Yep.
Phillip Rivers trying to throw it behind the receiver. And Ike Taylor wrestles it away from him. Why is that not an interception?
I think maybe because when Jackson had possession of it for a brief while, he came down out of bounds.
Out of bounds?
Yep. Be my guess. Third and 8 with 2:03 to play. Hold on first. Oh, the flag comes flying out.
Delay
here
game.
from Keith Ferguson.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
The play clock did run out.
Pittsburgh in the first matchup had over 100 yards in penalties back in November. Today it's the Chargers. Now we're going to get a challenge. Tomlin throws out the flag. He's going to say, wait a minute, we think it might have been a pick.
Pittsburgh is challenging the ruling of the incomplete pass on the last play.
Okay, at this point, I'd say it's Jackson's ball. Well,
when you watch Ike Taylor, does he come down inbounds once he gets possession of the football? It's pulled away.
left arm comes down out of bounds.
Yeah, his legs could have hit. This is close.
Yeah, it is close.
Mike Tomlin says, well, let me get this football if I can, and then get my players off the field.
Yep. 60 minutes, cold case, and the unit. All coming up tonight here on America's most watched network. 60 minutes immediately after football, except for those of you on the West Coast, you'll see it at your normal time. Well, you said a minute ago about San Diego, excited about what they know they can do next year, including getting Merriman back.
Well, a lot of guys. LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yep.
Here's the catch. Pulled away by Ike Taylor. Is he down? You know, you watch the left side of his body, Jim, and it's any part, feet and hands don't count.
He's got it there. Are both feet on the ground?
Now as he hits. Well, when the back of those legs hit the ground, was it determined was he inbounds or right on the line?
And I've seen it 4 times and I'm still not sure. So is it indisputable? I don't think so.
I'm remaining quiet because I don't know. You like that?
When you say you don't know, then it doesn't sound indisputable.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Yep.
Incomplete pass.
Do you know the Steelers' last postseason win was their Super Bowl victory up in Detroit when they beat the Seahawks to take home yet another Lombardi trophy.
I did know that, yes.
They are currently, in a tie with San Francisco and Dallas as the three franchises that all have 5 of those treasured pieces at their team facilities, those Lombardi trophies. 2 minutes away from being a game away from playing for a Super Bowl berth. And first, though, Sproles says, hey, don't forget about us. Sproles takes it for the touchdown, 62 yards.
Well, I tell you, that takes the speed from the running back position. Darren Sproles just outruns, he comes out of the backfield. And they're expecting him to hook up, and he just keeps going. Perfect throw by Rivers, and we've seen it a few times today. Darren Sproles, quick and surprising, very fast, straight ahead.
Again, they're going to go for just one here. Now you know why Mike Tomlin said, let's go ahead and challenge it.
Well, you do it for a lot of reasons. The big thing is, Jim, is to get your defensive players off the field so they don't take any more hits or somebody could get hurt.
They're going to kick for the 1. It's a team that has been successful twice this year on onside kicks. That's coming up shortly. That's a low liner, but good. At 35-24, 2-minute warning here in Pittsburgh. Holmes with a run back early. Parker with a couple of touchdowns. Steelers trying to become the only team this weekend to take advantage of the home cooking and set up a home game next week. Still 1:53 to go. Don't forget the San Diego team scored 12 points in the last minute and 20 seconds at Kansas City in December to win a game. Cypress on the onside kick try, and flags are down.
Offside. Number 22 of the receiving team. 5-yard penalty. And play off.
Still a little pulse for the Chargers.
Yeah, it's Gay. What happens is, even though you're on the receiving team, watch up top. Right in the middle. Just crosses the 40-yard line before the football is kicked. You know, nothing changes in this try. You still got to make sure the football goes 10 yards.
Ninth Ward over on that side. Gary Russell. Cypress, who was successful 1 of 1 on his tries this year. And that comes right into the arms of Gary Russell. And that should do it with San Diego out of timeouts. It's going to set up now. I think we can go ahead and lock it in. Baltimore and Pittsburgh. And we'll be here next Sunday night. What do you think?
Well, you know, I'm excited about seeing it because of the two defenses, the way they played. And it doesn't seem that long ago. We were doing the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game where we thought it might determine who was going to go to the playoffs, and maybe the loser might not even make it. So it's when you get a rivalry, teams that know each other very well, I think it makes for exciting football.
Just a couple of kneel downs away from making it official. Want to pass along some credits here to our great teammates, starting with our executive producer of the NFL on CBS, Sean McManus, vice president of production of CBS Sports, Harold Bryant, coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS, and today's game producer, Lance Barrow. Today's game directed by Mike Arnold, senior producer of CBS Sports, and the NFL Today is Eric Mann, the director, Bob Mattina, coordinating producer of CBS Sports, Steve Karasek, and the associate directors of today's game, Corey Fishman and Andy Friedman. Broadcast associates, Todd Carrick, Ade Ellis, technical manager, Pete Callander, technical director, Jonas Einstein, audio supervisor, Ed Soltis. Thanks to production supervisor, Bruce Sobolov, Diane Bowden on the season, stats provided by Ethan Cooperson, Tom Borstein. Our spotter today, and editorial consultant Tommy Spencer, field stage manager Jimmy Hatter.
Jimmy got in the action today. Got ran over one time.
Yeah, we got a guy who suffered a little cut. He's going to have to be his game time decision for next week now. But, you know, I think we need to put a wrap up on what San Diego did here at the end of this year, winning its last 4, becoming the first team to go from 4-8 to the postseason.
Well, what they did, Jim, they turned into the team that we all expected them to be right from the start of the season. They overcame a lot of tough situations, injuries, something to build on for next year.
First time the Steelers beat the Chargers in the postseason here in Pittsburgh. North Turner, he turned around late in the year, didn't he? Mike Tomlin has his first postseason victory. He finds him. He was looking for Coach Turner. Ben Roethlisberger, man, he is one tough dude. I think the 2 weeks ago, knocked out with that unconscious moment, a concussion. They'll tell you here in Pittsburgh, too, he's a great teammate. You see his action on the sideline all the time. So we're down to 4 teams in the chase for the Lombardi Trophy. On the AFC side, it's Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Next Sunday night at 6:30 on CBS. Philadelphia and Arizona next Sunday on Fox. Subway postgame show is coming up. Willie Parker with a little word with LT, who had to sit with this one out today. For Phil Simms and all the crew, Jim Nantz saying so long. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. James Brown's coming up in a moment.